This is our 10-liter short path distillation kit, capable of producing around 1 liter of distillate an hour. In this video, I will be mainly going over the glassware and its different features. It will be a little brief since this is a general overview of the entire system. Starting off with our 10-liter mantle with a stir bar that controls the entire distillation. It has a number of programmable options such as a temperature ramping and timer, allowing users to precisely fine-tune their fractions. Accurate up to 1 degree Celsius, a thermo probe can be connected to read the temperature of oil inside the boiling flask. Paired with a fabric heat top, the flask will have a consistent temperature from top to bottom. A 60-50 sized head allows for a significant vapor flow that doesn't bottleneck on its way out. Bigger rows help with refluxing, preventing any unwanted oils from climbing up the neck. The entire head is jacketed with options for silver coating to retain temperatures. At the top of the head, there is a port for a thermo probe to measure vapor temps, along with a one-of-a-kind reflux cup. These raised walls keep oil from flowing backwards down the head, which would add to overall run times by having to redistill any oil that returned to the head or flask. Oil will condense in the jacketed condenser section of the head. This section will be heated with a recirculating heater for hot condenser tech. This method of distillation is a little more advanced than a standard distillation as it requires extra equipment and steps, but ultimately can cut runtimes in half by allowing users to complete 2 separate stages of distillation at once. Achieved by having your first stage of volatile vapors come by with your oils at the same time. We will likely do an entire video on this technique of short path down the road. As oil begins flowing down the condenser, it will drip into this jacketed vacuum takeoff valve we call a pistol receiver. The water heater for the heated condenser will also be connected to this jacketed valve, allowing the valve to maintain the same temperature as the condenser. Using a heated valve is a huge key in hot pass condenser tech as it preserves the quality of your oil by preventing any unwanted vapors from cooling back down to liquid and lowering the purity of your distillate, while also keeping any oil from cooling down and clogging the collection. This PTFE valve opens and closes to cut off the collection flask from the rest of the system, so the flask can be easily removed and swapped out in the middle of the run without breaking vacuum to the entire system, which would otherwise drastically reduce evaporation rates in the boiling flask by raising the pressure. As oil collects, hot vapors will continue to pass through the system and must be recaptured before they damage the vacuum pump. We use 2-stage condensers to prevent any of these vapors from passing through. The auxiliary condenser is connected to a recirculating chiller set as low as it can go, using channel tubing to easily condense light vapors and collect them in a flask below. Using 2-stage condensers lightens the load on each fraction of light to heavier vapors, making less work for the second condenser. The dewar cold trap is used with dry ice and alcohol to reach below -80 degrees Celsius, meant to capture heavier volatiles that are much harder to condense. An inner wall forces vapors down the bottom of the trap, where they are pulled up the entire length of the cold finger with these ring baffles for extra surface area, capturing any volatiles left over. At the end here is where a vacuum manifold would connect. This entire short path is about to go out to a client, so we needed to set it up and inspect everything while also doing a run through of the kit. We customize a lot of our short path kits, so there is a lot of variation between each one that goes out based on what the user wants. We have an in-house glass blowing studio to take custom requests for users who have a design in mind they want to make. Reach out if you'd like more information about our variety of short path distillation setups.